People who declined a proposal, why did you do it? My now wife asked me to marry her. I told her I needed to think about it and eventually told her no. I thought I would had held her back. My store was closing down and 2 months before that happened, I turned down a different offer to stay. So, I knew I was gonna be without work for some time. She didn't take it well and we didn't speak for a couple years. Eventually though our paths crossed again and we both missed each other tons. One night she tells me, "So molecule, you make up your mind yet?" I instantly broke down laughing and 2 weeks later we were married. Molecule is kinda a cute pet name for a significant other. I don't hate this. My mother was engaged to a man while she was in college. The wedding plans were well underway and as the wedding got closer, her fiancé started acting super clingy and possessive. She called it off a few months before getting married. He has lived locally their whole lives so she's run into him a few times. Apparently he's the super jealous type who doesn't let his wives have male friends and he has been married 3 times. My mom definitely dodged a bullet. And you, my friend, dodged non-existence. I proposed to my boyfriend of 3 years. He told me he loved me but just wasn't ready because his parents had a really bad marriage and frankly, he didn't know if he could ever get married. I cried my eyes out and he held me but he was gently adamant. I accepted after a while that we wouldn't get married and to be happy that we were together and loved each other. 2 years later he proposed to me. Married 12 years so far. He told me he wouldn't say that he loved me until we were married. Big red commitment flag. You should never marry someone if you can't say it. I was scared and selfish. As a veteran, they were suffering from severe PTSD, had already attempted and were using drugs to self-medicate. As much as I loved and adored him and still do, I knew there were things I wanted for myself and it wouldn't be possible if I had to be the caretaker all the time. If I had said yes, I would be a widow now. I know I did the right thing for me but I don't feel like I did right by them. I wish I could have been stronger. Because we had been dating for a week. Gorgeous 19-year-old girl I worked with. We had been a little flirtatious with each other but were just close work friends. I was under 25 meters. She got knocked up by a guy she wasn't dating seriously. She was opposed to abortion so was planning to keep the baby but wanted to end it with that guy. She took me aside and slowly and seriously proposed marriage with me. Her rationale being that we loved each other even though we were just friends and that I would be a wonderful father, so we should give it a shot. She was sincere. But seeing as her proposal was insane though oddly tempting I said no. She married the father of her child shortly after. They're still married. Going on 20 years now. Only 1 child. I wouldn't change a thing about my life now. I love my family and have no regrets. No, I don't secretly wish I had married this girl. I was fresh out of high school and dating a guy in the military that I went to school with. We had been dating about 3 months when he proposed. He was nice, and I could have seen a future with him but 3 months was just too soon for me. Even though we had been friends for quite some time, I told him I wasn't ready and he never spoke to me again. He liked you enough to want to marry you, but not enough to talk to you again. My mom had been dating a guy for a few weeks after his wife had just died from cancer. His daughter was at college and he was paying for her education, boarding, food. I had just turned 18 and started paying my mom rent money. He proposed but said that I needed to move out because he didn't like me and thought that I was a freeloader. My mom told him that she loved me more than him and that he could shove his dead wife's ring up his ass and left him. Got asked in college by a close female friend. We weren't dating, I hadn't ever felt an attraction to her, and I knew she just wanted a husband more than she wanted me. The actual person, 100% yikes. We were on the verge of a breakup when he asked. We'd been having problems for a few years. His idiot friend told him it was a good idea to propose and that it would make everything magically better. I told him no. We broke up and I moved away for a while. As they say, absence makes the heart grow fonder. It was true in our case. We were able to work things out. I moved back and 2 years later, we got married. We've been together for 24 years. Have 2 daughters and 1 grandchild. He asked me randomly when on a night out when we weren't even dating, just friends. I thought he was joking, but then he came over the next day to ask what my feelings were. I had to say I didn't think of him that way, and it was awkward for a while. Boys in Christian college be like. I was in high school, she had schizophrenia, and I wasn't a lesbian. Also, we weren't dating. Or come on, it sounds like you were perfect for each other. A match made in heaven. It was our first date. He showed up drunk and called me somebody else's name. Hey Karen, you wanna f? I'm not Karen. That's not what I asked about. OMG, I can answer this one in true Reddit fashion. Not me, but a coworker of mine, happily married for a good long while, told me that the only man she dated before her husband was obsessed with her, and pursued her even after she broke up with him, and had proposed multiple times before and after they broke up. He just had this unhealthy obsession with her for some reason. The last time he proposed to her was the day before her wedding to her husband. She of course turned him down, and he finally moved on and married a different girl. I told her jokingly that he sounded unhinged, and she really dodged a bullet there. She went quiet for a moment and then said, "Well, he killed the woman he did end up marrying." Holy Jesus, that went from 50 to infinity. He was that weird stoner patron that came in just to talk to me even though I wasn't interested. He told me he was the heir to the Commonwealth and should be king after Elizabeth dies, because he had the 3 out of the emblems of the United Kingdom, and once he got the 4th it would secure his position. He would also make airplane noises when I had my attention turned to other tasks. That's a no, Jason. Emblems? Are those like Pokemon badges? I was 15, he was 17. I wasn't ready. I liked him a lot but wasn't ready to plan a life with any one person at that age. There was a guy at my high school prom that proposed to his girlfriend in the middle of the dance floor. Low by Flo Rida was playing. She said no. Shorty said no 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 no. His esteem got low 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 low. My husband proposed 1 month into dating. I declined because, 1 month. A year later we moved in together and he proposed, and I declined because I wasn't ready. Almost 3 years later and 2 more declined proposals, I said yes on the 4th time. I finally felt ready. We have been married 11 years. In retrospect, his instincts were probably better than mine. I was in my first few years of teaching, and one of my 9-year-old students brought his sister's play ring to school, got down on one knee when the class was on the field, and he proposed to me. It was very sweet. I declined, saying that he was a little young for me. When I was student teaching, I had a student from Ghana who insisted that I, 21 at the time, was far past my prime for marriage. He stole a ring from his mom's jewelry box and said he was willing to make the sacrifice and marry me so that I wasn't old and alone in the world. Kid was 15. Needless to say, I declined. That was a weird phone call home. LMAO, I've been on 2 mission trips to Ghana, and the girls aged 18 to 27 always get proposed to by strangers with goats as bargaining chips. Do you still get the goat if you decline? I like goats. Goats are cute. I thought my ex had anger management issues, and I didn't get along with his mother. He was too attached to her. He later became a violent alcoholic. Years after we broke up, he also stole quite a bit of money from me to give to his mother for bills. I was not aware of this until months after the fact. I feel like I dodged a huge bullet there. Forget a huge bullet, it sounds like you dodged a nuke. I was 16 and not pregnant. He said I could go to college later if I still wanted to after we had kids. Oh, he gave you permission? How thoughtful. He had 11 brothers and 1 sister. Warning flags everywhere. When he asked, my future flashed in front of me and I hated it. He was a good guy and I did love him, but we wanted different things. We had been together for many years, but the proposal was still a surprise. I think he proposed to try and save a sinking relationship. I was only 16, he just turned 20. Also, he gave me his ex-girlfriend's ring. Yeah, no. Recycled ring. Recycled goals. Recycled feelings. He literally only proposed because I caught him cheating. He thought I would say yes. OMG, of course. I forgive you. Please, continue to cheat on me after we both sign a legally binding contract. Dude was dumb. Your story reminded me of one of my friends who was cheated on by her boyfriend, then he also proposed and said if you meet her you'd really like her. She is a lot like you. Like he had the gall to expect her to agree to an immediate threesome and polygamous marriage. Dude fired his rifle till it was out of ammo. Then instead of surrendering he fixed bayonet and charged. Well, he proposed as I was breaking up with him, which was awkward, and for some reason he thought it would make me change my mind. Also he had threatened to kill my family the day before, hence the breakup, so there's that. Edit. Thanks for the kind words everyone. At the time, this was my first relationship and I was very naive. I was 19 and he was 20, and we had dated for roughly 5 to 6 months. I'm now in a very happy, stable, and healthy relationship. Smiley face. I'll stab up your sister, I'll murder your ma, machete your granny, your brother, your pa, I'll chainsaw your cousin, I'll drown Auntie Eve, your stepsister Alice, your great-uncle Steve, I'll slice em, I'll dice em, I'll do it, he said, and when I have finished they'll all turn up dead, so let us get married, I love you a lot. He waited in silence. She said to him, "What?